Hey, good evening, everyone. How are you? It's your girl, Tara Nicole, Coach T, checking in real quick. I do mean real quick. This is just a little check-in, right quick. Sunday sentiments with Coach T. I'm real cute, huh? I'm too sexy for my fleece. So I went to church this morning, and this is what I wore: my nice little poppin' Papa pieces. And then I been home, kind of reflecting, quiet, thinking, listening. Um, having my moments, my little emotional moments, not like crying or anything like that, but just kind of up and down, pondering, thinking, just like, okay, Lord, what's the plan? I know you had a plan, but can you let me in on the plan? And sometimes it seems that things get a little stuck and you're like, all right, okay, Jesus, I'm here, I'm chilling, I'm listening, I'm moving in the way you want me to move, but sometimes your movement is a little too mysterious for me. So can you please give me an idea of what's going on? And that's kind of where you are. And then you start, I started working and writing and preparing for my goals for next month and things of that nature. So I just wanted to jump on real quick and just kind of, hey, Keisha, and just share a little sentiment with you. I don't care where you are in your life. I don't care if you are, hey Keisha, I don't care if you are a business owner, a mother, a wife, a husband, whatever your relationship status may be, what your job or career status may be, whether you blue collar, white collar, no collar, whatever it may be, I just wanted to share a few things with you. And I know that if you are like me, um, and most people who I do know, we all kind of like movers and shakers. We kind of like, I don't like not knowing, and I know that's not a part of having faith and trust in God with His plan and with His vision, um, and with what He has for you. But it's like I need to know what's happening. I want to know what's going on, and it's like it just goes back to your faith. It goes back to your belief, your trust, and we want to know what's going on, so you'll know how to act, you'll know how to move, you know how to maneuver. You'll know I'm too sexy, huh? I'm too cute with my fleece. Okay, so the plan was to go walking, and then I was preparing to go walking. I was going to take all this off. I put this on, and then I looked outside. It was dark, so I was like, I can't go walking. So I just be walking around too cute. I'm just too cute for the house, but it's okay. So that explains my outfit. But if you like this, well, it's out, but I can get it for you if you want this piece. It's a Papa piece. Anyway, this is not about paparazzi right now. This is about Sunday sentiments for Coach T. So today at church, I always have epiphanies, but it was just a reawakening, and it's great to have a reawakening. It's great to recharge. So it's like I send out my condolences to, I think, Pittsburgh. I haven't watched TV since Friday. I cut it on last night late, and by the time I took medicine, I was knocked right back out. So I still didn't see anything about the tragedy or the shooter. So our sentiments and condolences go out with those people, their family, the victims, all that. And it's like you have to stay in a continuous mode of prayer, a prayer mode. And my friends tease me about it, but it's like I don't worry about that because they know that they called me. That I'm gonna be the first one they call. Someone, let's pray. But anyway, um, you have to just stay in that mode because those things can have us in a panic. Your things in your life itself can have you in a panic or a state of anxiety, a state of worry, a state of, okay, what am I gonna do next, or how am I gonna make this next move, or I want to do this or do that, but it's like things are moving at a snail's pace. It seems like things aren't, moving as fast as they need to be moving. And one of the things that I wanted to share with you is that sometimes it's just about, I've been posting about timing. And it's like if you ever think about a pendulum and how it goes back and forth. And if you ever read a story or watched a movie, when the pendulum is swinging, it's getting lower and lower or closer and closer to whatever it is it needs to cut, sift, or whatever the case may be. It depends on what the plot is. I'm an English teacher background, so I kind of can get deep with that, but I'm not. But anyway, so when the pendulum is swinging, you're constantly waiting on which way it's going to stop or end, or what is it going to cut or shift, or when is the change going to come, or the breakthrough is going to happen. And sometimes it seems that the things are moving at a snail's pace. Sometimes it seems that God is moving. He's moving because He's always blessing you. He's constantly blessing you, but it still seems as if it's like, what's the holdup? Like it's moving for other people, but not moving for me. Not that you judging or comparing or competing, but it's like, okay, Lord, I thought we were cool. I thought I was your girl. I thought I was your boy. I thought we was down like that, And It's not that you take anything for granted, anything like that, but sometimes it's just you don't understand his movement. You know he has a plan, but you don't understand the way the plan is supposed to carry out or what it's supposed to do. But in church today, I just learned some great, things that I already know, but it's nice to hear it again. It's nice to get a refresher. It's nice to come home and sit and think. And, even in those moments, like I'm kind of sitting still because I have to. But at the same time, in those sitting still moments, it makes you, excuse me, I'm much better than I was on Thursday, but I haven't recovered totally. So if you watch me on Thursday, thank you for sticking in. My nose was like, yeah, we were in a love-hate relationship. Anyway, but it's nice to get a refresher. It's nice to get a reminder that, we know God is faithful, but it's nice to get a reminder about how he's faithful. It's nice to be around like-minded people. It's nice to be in the same atmosphere with people who think and believe and feel the same way you do. It's nice to hear other people's testimonies about overcoming and coming through and being more than we say we're more than a conqueror, but when you actually hear someone's word or you hear someone who say, I stood the test of time and this is the result. When you are in that atmosphere, it ignites you, it kind of lights your fire. It rejuvenates you some. And especially you're already not feeling well physically, that can be enough. But when it seems like you got to get answers to questions and you got to get solutions to problems, and you have to have, you got to figure out make your next move your best move. And when you are in a position where you're having to do something you haven't had to do in a long time, or it's like your situation is different now than it was before when you had to go through the same experience. My situation is different now when I bought my truck 3-4 years ago. Well, almost 4 years ago. And now I'm in a different position, a different place. And I'm going next week to get a new car. So it's like, I don't even figure out which one or where to start. It's not really like it's rocket science, but when you're in a different place, the unpredictability of it makes you feel different. Not that everything is so drastically different, but things are different. My career is different and all the things you think, but it's like, but when favor's on your life, when he has a plan for you, and whatever is for you, nothing can stop that. So we have to kind of shake that fear. I have to shake that fear or shake that anxiety or that anxiety that comes with the unknown and go for it. In the way the world's set up now, they're trying to give stuff away. I don't want just anything, and I'm not going to just settle for any terms, out of desperation. But it's like, that's what the enemy wants to do. He wants us to feel, uncertain about our goals and dreams and whatever it may be. Everybody's thing is not the same. Some things may be similar, but everything may not be the same. And but he wants you to kind of sit still. He wants you to park. Wants you to put it in pause. Wants you to give up. Wants you to turn around and do something different. Wants you to return to the familiar. I've never said I was against going back to teaching full time. It's just, it really doesn't fit into what I do right now because of the flexibility I have. So while I still do teach, I just don't do it full time. I'm not obligated or confined. But there are times I'm like, you know what? I may need to go back and do that so that I can make some things move faster, because I want things to move along quicker. Not like in a hurry, but I just know if I had a little more control over how things get done, they'll get done sooner. They'll get done faster, if that makes any sense. But that is what me being in control. I'm too cute, y'all. I was just looking at myself in this camera with this fleece and this necklace. But anyway, this is a pop-up. So just some Sunday sentiments. And I'm always me, but I'm chill. So we just chilling. We family. We get along good. We know what's up, right? You see me at my best and just at my good right now. So anyway, I'm silly, y'all know that. But what I'm saying is, like, when you are, I know for me, I can have some things go quicker, move faster, because I got a little more control over how things get delegated, but it's like, in this process, I've learned to be more adaptable, flexible, and adjustable. I'm really past what people think or say. Like, I've already expressed all my history, story, or whatever. Not all details of my story, but how I got to this point right here. So I'm really not even concerned about that kind of stuff. But it's my stuff, my mind, where I am. Now, if God said go back, then I will. And if it comes to the point, we have a talk. I talk to him every day, all day. I'm like, okay, Lord, now this doesn't, do this or that. I'm not giving him an ultimatum, but I'm just saying these are the steps that I'm going to take. But you have to also go back and remind yourself what he is such a big God. He is such a big God that you can ask for big things. And sometimes we go in small. Well, if you just do this, then I'll do that. But like I'm like, I want you to do some things so great and so big in my life that when it comes to fruition and comes to pass, when it's manifested totally and completely, I can't, me nor anyone else can say nothing but, oh my God, won't he do it? It was nothing but God. He did that, right? So that's what you want to make sure that you, excuse me, just kind of achy still. That's what you want to make sure you get into your mind. He is big, and we don't have to settle for less or the menial or minimal blessings or menial blessings. You can, and of course we have to be accountable and responsible. But I'm just saying, and sometimes this is what another thing, I'm going to get into some things I learned today at church where I was reminded of, because I've learned these before. But one thing is I was reminded of is that sometimes the things that we go through, we reap what we sow. We want to be careful of that. But life is going to happen anyway. So it might not be that you did anything. It's just certain things are just going to happen because that's just the way life is. But some things we have to go through because it is for those non-believers. It's for those people who think it's impossible. It's for those people who don't believe that miracles can still happen and that these, wonderful and great things can still happen. And you are the one that God chooses, or he chose to be the example of, I still exist. I'm still in control. I still have all power in my hands, and I'm going to use my chosen vessel, be it me, you, whoever, to demonstrate that to the world, because some people need that visible proof. You know what I mean? They need that. They need to see something to know that it's real. Because people say, I'll see it. I'll believe it when I see it. But when we walk by faith and not by sight, we have to know that we have to believe it even if we don't see it. Right? So that's the thing. The difference between people who believe and walk by faith and who trust God, and those who quote unquote don't. So that was one thing, but these are the three things that I learned today. Why I would just say be reminded of. And the first thing, and the verse that I wrote, that I put on here on the heading, it says, but me, I'm not giving up. I'm sticking around to see what God will do. I'm waiting for God to make things right. I'm counting on God to listen to me. So if you've been praying to God, and that stuck out with me, and I was like, you know what? That is what I'm gonna meditate on for the rest of this week and all the month of November. We're giving thanks, of course, for everything, but with the task and the goal that I have set for myself, beginning November, or preparation now and starting from November the 1st, that's what I'm going to meditate. I do meditations anyway in the morning. I speak my affirmations, but I'm going to truly meditate upon this. But me, I'm not giving up. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's not times I didn't want to give up. And I mean, just on a whole bunch of stuff. Sometimes I want to get in my car and just, well, when I had my car, but and just drive and call you when I get there. It ain't that it's so horrible, but sometimes it just becomes a lot. And it depends on where you are in your life, what your status is. If you, single parent, however you became a single parent, married, divorced, never been married, whatever the case may be, whoever's the sole provider for your children, and you are the caretaker for everything. You have to make sure everything is in order. And then work can be stressful. When I taught full time, oh my God, it used to be just, oh my goodness. And I love teaching, I love helping, but it just became a point where it was just too much. You know how they say too much sauce? It was just, oh my God, overrunning with sauce. And it made it not good. It took away the delightfulness of it. But anyway, but me, I'm not giving up. I'm sticking around to see what God will do. I'm waiting for God to make things right. I'm counting on God to listen to me. And that's the thing that I want to say. You have to stick to whatever it is you believe in him for, whatever it is that you are asking God to do, whatever it is that, I don't care what it is. Like, I got some things, some simple things and some great things, not just concerning me, but my family, my friends, my children, my children's children, some loved ones, some concerns, some, financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually, all the different things. But it's like, when you asking God and you make it known, and one thing about it, he does not, he can't lie. He doesn't fall short, and he will not go back on his word or his promises, because that will make him equal to us as men. That will make him equal to us as human beings. And then that means that, it'll take away his clout. It'll take away from his, his righteousness, his highness above us. And so he's set up, we are set apart, but he's set above everything, right? So it just says that I'm waiting for him to make things right. It's some things that, I could have done better, but it's some things that were done to me, or done against me that that weren't right. And I'm like, okay, Lord, he said, I'm your vindicator. I would vindicate you. I am the one who, provides justice. But then I just want to see, I'm counting on God to listen to me. So if you listening to you, what you pray about, what you talking about, what you're desiring, even if it's for yourself, a change, if you have habits you want to break, addictions you want to break, and people, sometimes we go within, and we kind of shameful, or we just feel a certain kind of way about the things that are happening. It's like, well, when you talk to him, he's always listening. And it's like, the more serious you become about what it is you're trying to do, the more serious you become about the tasks and the things you're trying to accomplish, the things you're trying to knock down. That is Tawana. That was Micah. That's from the Message Bible, chapter 7, verse 7. Micah chapter 7, verse 7. That's from that was the Message version. But me, I'm not giving up. I'm sticking around to see what God will do. I'm waiting for God to make things right. I'm counting on God to listen to me. And that's just where I am. I was sitting today in here again. I was just listening and thinking, and I started to get a little anxiety. My son's driving. I'm not concerned about that. He's a good driver, but I'm like, I'm used to going and doing as I want to when I want to. But I've been blessed to, have a friend's truck for 3 weeks, and I'm going, this week to do what I need to do. But it was, and I said, Lord, I don't want to rent another car, so I didn't have to rent another car. And while things are panning out this week for me, my son's car is available. He's at school, so things are different, and my work schedule is a little different. So it's not about not having it, but it's just that feeling in the moment. I want to go to Dollar Tree, for example. And I'm like, that's why I get a little anxiety. Like, what? Like, oh my God, but it's not a moment to panic. It's a moment to declare and decree that I know you listen to me. So whatever my concerns may have been prior to this point, whatever my concerns may have been while they were working it out with the credit union and all the insurances and all this kind of stuff, I mean, it was part of it was out of my control. Now it's in my control. You're welcome. So guess what? Now I can't let anxiety or fear about my life being different from what it was 3 years ago and to what it is now stop me, because I serve a big God. I serve a real God, a true God, and a God that I trust. So I just got to continue to thank him. And then, then I begin to write down some things that I'm thanking him for. And I'm thanking him as if it already happened. Thank you for my businesses growing. Not just my coaching practice, not just my speaking engagements, but my thing with my jewelry, because it's like I've always had one main stream of income, but when things change, then you want to have something else to fall back on. But that's just law or biblical. I mean, I can't quote you the exact verse, but it's like you want to have multiple streams because you want to leave a legacy. You want to have something. If one thing runs out, or somebody decides that their company's shutting down, everything is going to technology. What if they decide they don't want to have school the way they have school anymore? Even though they don't have it that way. But what if they change all that? What if your, computer, think about the automations. You call in and it's like, you got to go through I just find myself yelling at the phone. Customer service, representative, customer rep, because I'm like, I don't want to answer all these questions. And they go, well, I can help you. And they getting smarter and smarter with it. I can understand real sentences, all that kind of stuff. So what I'm saying is you got to be creative. You got to come outside the box. You got to create your own wealth. You got to, and I'm not saying everybody's going to be an entrepreneur, but everybody needs to have a various forms of, various streams of income. Right? Because that, when you have another stream, even if you are working your full-time job, you can go you take your other stream, your passive income, travel, shop, do what you want to do, pay off some bills, pay some schooling, pay for your kids' schooling, pay for your schooling, whatever it is you want to do. But anyway, my point is, And sitting up thinking about all of that, and the anxiety was trying to come over me, I began to write, thank you, Lord, for growing my businesses. Thank you, Lord, for sending me, purposeful partnerships. Thank you, Lord, for, the impact, blessing me so that I can be a blessing to others. Thank you for that I can walk in abundance. Thank you that I can make an impact, not just in my community, but globally. So you have to begin to say that and then speak it and then believe it as if it's happening. Believe it as if and then visualize it. I begin to see myself. I've had visions and dreams of it anyway, but and then I remind him of his word. Lord, you promised me this. I know I made you some promises, so I'm not. You can't get out of what you promised him, but at the same time, some things that he promised me. But then those small things, those little bitty things that we still work through, that we're getting over, the hurts, the offenses, the wounds, the betrayals, the not understanding why it had to happen that way when it really didn't make sense in the first place. All those different things. And this is me too. Now, I'm not just talking about you, but me. When I'm sitting up thinking, I'm like, well, Lord, it didn't have to play out like that. It didn't have to go that way. Like, it didn't even make, it didn't take all that. You ever hear people say, well, it didn't even take all that. It don't take that much. But sometimes it does, because it has to be, we have to be totally removed from some situations and some people and some places and things in order for us to remember this number one thing, that God is faithful to his promises. Whatever he promised, he's going to come through with it. He didn't tell you how he's going to do it, when he's going to do it, or where, but he said that he will. And that's one thing we have to remember. And you have to continue to say, Lord, thank you for modern day miracles. We can look in the Bible or read or listen to stories that people talk about, even of stories of old in our family, the miracles that have happened or the miracles that we witnessed. But thank you, Lord, for a modern day miracle, right? Thank you, Lord, for a modern day miracle. Thank you, Lord, for my modern day miracle. Thank you, Lord, for modern day miracles, because he's faithful to his promises, and that's one thing you have to realize. I had to remember, and I was like, thank you, Lord, for, just re-enlightening me about this on today, that he is reliable, he is trustworthy, he's dependable. If he said it, it has to come to pass. It must come to pass. Otherwise, he'll be a liar. Otherwise, he'll be on the same level in the platform as human beings or us as people, right? And then it says God, remember the second point is God is faithful to who is faithful. So he said, to whom much is given, much is required. And being faithful means that we sticking to what we say, sticking to our commitments, even when that feeling of excitement is gone away from it from the first time. We are sticking to the plan. We are faithful to what we said we were going to do, faithful to what he's called for us to do. We're faithful to our, our families, our jobs, whatever our commitments may be, whatever it is that you said you're going to do, you got to be faithful to that, because he's going to keep his promises. But just imagine how much of a delay, and delay does not always mean deny, but how much the delay could be shortened, or some things could come quicker, or we can receive it sooner if we remain faithful, we remain consistent, we remain persistent, relentless, and adamant about what it is that we're trying to get, or that we want to accomplish or receive or achieve. And it gets tiring sometimes. It gets a little gruesome sometimes. It gets a little and a lot frustrating sometimes. Sometimes you get to the point where you be like, you know what? Woo! But then, guess what? You have to be reminded, I'm faithful. I'm diligent. I'm consistent. I'm called to it. So whatever I'm called to, he'll bring me through. And that brings me to the third point that says God is faithful in our trials, in your trials, my trials, our trials. And you can go to 1 Peter and read chapters 4:12 through 18. And it's like we want to get over there, and but we want to leave from right here to get over there. But in order to get over there, you got to go through right here. So that's another thing. The trial isn't always for you, but more so for the unbelievers who will have to say, only God did that, right? So that's one thing about that, And then they want to know, how did you smile through that? How did you get through that? How did you go through that and then hurt somebody? How did you go through that and then kill somebody? How did you go through that and then cuss everybody out? How did you go through that and you smile and you remain graceful and humble and not angry? Because you'll say, God did it. And you just want to do the right thing because it's always the right thing to do. And of course, the right thing will always follow you, right? So, you want to just know that he's with us in our trials. He is faithful to us in our trials. So God is faithful to his promises. God is faithful to those who are faithful. God is faithful in our trials. I don't care what your circumstance, situation, whatever you're facing, whatever you're going through, he's faithful. But we have to remember that. And the fourth thing is that God, you have to praise God for his faithfulness. You have to shout for joy at all times. You have to give thanks in all things, not for everything, because we're not thankful for everything that happens, but give thanks in it. Give thanks that I'm protected. Give thanks that I woke up. Give thanks that, I may not be feeling the best, but I'm still alive. My bones may snap, crackle, and pop when I get up, but I'm here. You may have to be dealing with some sicknesses or some illnesses, but I can fix this. I can change my eating habits. I can change my activity levels. I can stop doing some certain things. I can stop doing things that affect, be it eat, drinking, smoking, whatever it may be. Not moving, whatever it is that's affecting you, health wise, even your thoughts mentally, whatever it is. But you got to shout and give joy, rejoice in everything and be grateful and thankful. Attitude of gratitude takes you a long way. I know when I'm looking around sometimes. I was walking through my house yesterday and I'm like, Lord, thank you. This is my house. I mean, I've had a house before, but just looking and thinking is like how my life has changed in the last 2 years. And I'm like, but I've been here 2 years, but my life changed like a year after being here. And I'm like, as far as career wise, I'm like, nothing's missing, broken, taken away. This is my house. I've added more, but it's like he is a sustainer. He will keep you. And he said, those who keep their mind on me will keep them in perfect peace. And I found that when my mind gets to wondering, or I get to trying to figure out how can I fix it, make it, do it, work it, then guess what? That is when all the feelings and uncertainty and anxiety or the stress, or I got to figure it out, or I get to writing and doing and thinking. Well, that's when that begins to try to overtake you, because what? You're thinking that you got the answer, the solution, and you don't. It's just, but then that means that you took your mind off the place that gives you peace. So in those moments, you got to go back and be saying things like, Lord, I trust you, but Lord, you said this, you said that. I am faithful. I am sticking to what you said. I'm not perfect, but I'm doing what you called me to do. I'm about your business. You said if I handle your business, you'll handle mine. You said you'll give me favor. You got to remind him of his word. You got to quote his word. You got to speak to yourself. You got to speak affirmations. You got to speak affirmations. You got to talk right, think right. You got to be around the right people, right things. You got to be mindful of whatever your mood is. If it's down and out, you're sad, if you're worried, then you don't need to add things that's going to make you increase those feelings. Yeah, you want to, we might have to take a break. I take a break from business stuff all the time. I may watch something funny or read, or, read for pleasure, or just kind of may get on social media a little bit. But so I've kind of, stepped back from that a little bit. So much sometimes. But you just really have to figure out where it is you belong and what is your purpose. And then we have several, don't get me wrong. I mean, one umbrella that can serve certain things, but it's like you have to fall back and figure out, where do I focus first? And that's what I said I was going to do. I'm like, okay, I just step back. Okay, where's my focus first? And then I step back and I begin to think. And as I'm focusing on, for the month of November, I'm focusing in on one area. Like I have several areas of my business, but I'm going to focus in on one. And I'm going to continue to invest in myself as well as in others, and, venture out and get out of my comfort zone with some other things. But, you be stretched to capacity, but not to the point of exhaustion. But it's like, you don't want to be a jack of all trades and a master of none. You don't want to be so titled up, that you're not making an impact anywhere. You don't want to be, you want to just, you're valuable, your worth, and you want that to be shown. You don't want to be all over the place. And when we're trying to attack several tasks at once, I mean, you have to be balanced in the midst of things going on in your life, because you can't change all the things that are going on. Family, kids, job, business, yourself, your health, the other thing, depending on what role you are, what you the oldest child. It just depends on all that stuff plays a part. But, you got to take care of yourself first, number one, because you're no good to yourself, you're no good to anybody else. Got to love yourself first. If you don't love you, nobody else will. They're going to love you like you love you. And keep the faith. You got to keep believing. You got to keep trusting. You got to not, take the risk. You got to jump out, step out on whatever it is that, try to hold you back. Find out what's keeping you stuck and why, the fears. Come out of our comfort zone, come out the box, the fear of success. Sometimes it's not even the fear of failure, it's the fear of success, because a lot comes with that, so you just have to think about it. And it's okay to retreat. It's okay to chill. It's okay to, just be like, I'm chilling. Everything sounds good. Everything is fun. I'm not saying get to the point where you're, retreat to the point where you're not social, because we need people. And sometimes that is a good solution, is to go be around friends and laughter and have a good time, catch a movie, laugh and just have some fun. But if that's what you're doing most of the time and you're never in a point of solitude, then you need to rethink that, because you're never going to get the clarity and the answers that you're looking for. But remember this, and I would challenge you to stand with me on this particular verse, Micah chapter 7, verse 7. I think it's 7 and 8, but 7. And this is the Message Bible, and it says, "But me, I'm not giving up. I'm sticking around to see what God will do. I'm waiting for God to make things right. All things right." Because he said all things work together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. I'm not counting on God. I am counting on God to listen to me. So if I'm counting him to listen to me, of course I gotta listen to him. But if you're not even talking, what do you think? You're not even asking or talking to him, so he can't listen to you. So you got to start talking. You got to start speaking up. You got to start saying what it is you're looking for, whatever it is you need. But I know the first two sentences is like, I'm not giving up. I don't care what it look like or feel like. I'm not. I can't. I'm not. I won't. However he leads me, okay, but I'm not going to give up on what it is I know he's called me to do. And it doesn't matter what it is, and what platform or what capacity. Because I know it's not going to hurt or harm me, because that's not part of his plan. He said his plans are to bring us hope and a good future, right? So it says I'm sticking around to see what God will do. It's only when we give up, when we stop believing, that's when it's over with, right? I posted that earlier this week. When we stop believing, then that's when it's over with. When we stop asking, then nothing else can come, because we're not seeking anymore. We're not asking, nor are we knocking, so no doors can be open. But I'm sticking around. I already know what the other side looks like. I've been over there before. I've already done it my own way. I've kind of hung out on the other side a few times, and I'm like, it's all right, but that ain't where it's at, right? That's not where it is. So I'm gonna stick around over here where I know it's good, and I'm looking to get better to see what he's gonna do, because I know it's gonna be good and wonderful things that come from it. So those are just my Sunday sentiments. If you catch in coming in at the end, then go back and catch the replay. I see people popping in, popping out. I'm always going to be spilling some tea. It might not be the one that people love to run and jump to, the drama and the chaos and confusion, but it's going to definitely be some nuggets that you can use and apply to your life on a regular basis. I would love to see you over in Maximize the Moments coaching group. I'll be starting some master classes over there in the month of November. So you think it's hot over here, it gets a little warmer over there. It's a little hotter. So I would love to see you over there, a little more intimate, a little more detailed. So yeah, I'm counting on God to listen to me. How about you? Those are my Sunday sentiments with Coach Tara Nicole. Continue to thank God for all he's doing for you, all he's done, and all that he will do. Act as if it's already happening. Don't wait for it to show up. Act as if it's already here. And I think that's the thing that keeps you motivated. It may seem pretentious and seem fake and phony and unreal, but when I say my affirmations, at first it sounds funny, but I don't forget what day, but whether it's day 5 or 6, maybe 7. And I'm like, okay, and I'm not going to miss a morning, because even with that, being faithful, God is faithful to the faithful. Faithful to me, the 21 days of saying this particular set of affirmations. I say them all the time, but how about just sticking to that one set for 21 days? That is faithfulness, right? And so whatever it is I'm speaking, it has to come to pass, because I'm faithful to those affirmations for these 21 days. And whatever I'm setting for the month of November, if I stick with it and be consistent, then guess what? it is going to show up, right? So have a great and wonderful night. I hope that you have a great and wonderful week. I'll be in for either Let's Talk Tuesday or Words of Wisdom Wednesday, one of those days. Of course, I'll be here to get hot with you on Thursday, as long as God give me breath in my body and I'm moving around and I'm able. I'll be here. So you have a great and wonderful night. Catch the replay if you're watching it. Hashtag replay. Please share the video. That would be awesome. Continue to keep believing, keep asking. If you don't, if you say, I say keep going, but if you don't know where you're going, then hey, keep asking until you find out where you're going. Just don't stop, don't part, don't give up, don't quit. And if that it looks weird, feels funny, and it may cause you to have to rearrange some things and be around some different people, then you do that. You gotta do what's best for you. If you the only one who show up here every week or every Thursday or wherever it is you may be, then you know what it takes for you to survive. Not just survive, but to thrive. Because people surviving every day. But we want to thrive in this world, not just survive. We don't want to be alive and not live. So, I'm Coach T. You have a great and wonderful night. Those are my Sunday sentiments. Be blessed.